Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
The wind. We were running against the wind. We were young and strong. We were running against the wind.
Welcome back, 9:17 to the time on a Friday morning. It's the 22nd day of September. Sitting across me, Cody Markle.
Thanks for having me. How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. Head coach, Alton High football, man. It doesn't seem like too long ago you were out there playing yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. Feels like just yesterday, but it feels like forever ago every now and then.
I'm telling you what, let me paint this picture for you. I told you guys, 2 days ago, I was walking down the C building at my end of my start of senior year for soccer, and here comes Eric Dickerson saying we need a kicker for the football team, and I decided, what the hell, let's try it out. And, man, I was telling him yesterday, you were just a leader on the field when you were playing. It was so cool to be around you, really bringing the guys together, and then seeing you taking that career to college, and then all of a sudden you're back, on the sidelines again in an assistant role, and now you're taking the role of leading the team for the next, couple of weeks at least, and hopefully longer. This is really cool, and you deserve it.
Well, I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, from being from Alton, born and raised, it's definitely something that's really cool to get to come back and coach the team and be able to help the boys out and help the town that always gave back to me, and then to be able to take over and be the head guy, be the head coach. It's definitely been a privilege and an honor. And, I don't take that lightly. Yeah. So I do everything I can to make sure I'm doing best by the boys and putting them in the right path for success.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I got to ask you, because you always I know you had coaching on the mind from the moment you were, kind of winding down your playing career, but did you think the head coaching job would come this quick?
No, not in the slightest. I mean, I knew eventually that I would want to, be able to be a head coach and be able to, take my shot at it, because I believe that, football's in my blood, and being able to run a football team was the dream. But, I knew that obviously I had a lot of work when I first started to be able to get to that point. And, whenever this opportunity presented itself, I threw my hat in the ring, and I had told them that I believe I was ready, and I'm very grateful for the Alton School District for taking a shot on me, and I just try not to disappoint and go out there and do my very best every day.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, man, I mean, you guys pick up a nice win on last Friday. Take us through that. I'm sure the guys are feeling pretty happy going into today.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago we played Triad at home, and we started off the season 0-2, which obviously going through everything that happened,
right,
and building up. I mean, we had a great off season over the summer, and we were constantly working, going to different camps, and the boys looked sharp and looked good. And obviously those first two losses, I mean, those hurt, because we were in every ball game, came down to the last second. But they didn't let that define who they were.
Right.
So, we had a great week of practice leading up, and then we go into the game versus Triad, and, I wanted the ball first, so we drove down the field on offense, got stalled. But it was just kind of a back and forth battle. I mean, they scored first, we came back and answered.
Yeah.
Or we scored, they answered. And, I mean, it was just back and forth all night, and, I mean, both sides of the ball, in my opinion, stepped up when it mattered the most. Obviously, you're going to make mistakes, and obviously, playing with us, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. I call it a roller coaster ride.
Right.
But whenever you look at it, it's how you step up in those important moments, or how games are going to be decided, or how your character, is described about you. And these boys did a hell of a job on it. I mean, they stepped up when it mattered most. They made the plays they needed to. A little confusion on that game-winning touchdown on the call, but, obviously it works. I guess we just called touchdown play, so
there
whatever
you go.
works.
Well, on top of that, man, you bring up a good point of adapting, because there's a lot of, whenever you're playing, especially whenever you're playing a part of a program that people love and cherish, there's a lot of static, a lot of voices, a lot of chatter, and staying focused is important. And how is it for you, important for you, for the boys to make sure they're focused, locked in at school, then making sure right afterwards, hey, we're in that locker room, we're in the training center, and then we're back there out there practicing?
Yeah, so something that was big for me, and I tried to establish it before, obviously I took over, but I want to help create good young men of character. Mm-hmm. Not only do I want to help these boys succeed on the field, but I want to help them succeed in life as good young men. So when I talk to them about it every day, is obviously growing up as a young man, or even a young person in general, is, it's difficult. You're trying to figure out who you are. You're trying to, figure out what you want to do with your life. So it's a difficult time, especially at this age. But, I try to do my very best at making sure that we stay focused on the ultimate goal, whether that's, graduating or college or whatever it may be, to set yourself up for a good life. And I believe that these boys have really adapted to that.
Yeah.
I talk every day about, carrying yourself a class, and I tell them all the time that when you're in school, because you are a student athlete, and I emphasize student.
Yeah.
Because obviously college coaches ain't going to look if the grades aren't there. And, I tell them every day, I go, you need to handle yourself in the classroom. And that means being on time, participating, not being a class clown, different things like that. And I've gotten so many compliments from the teachers and staff at the high school, which is, it's great. That means our boys are actually doing as their coach and actually seeing a bright future for themselves and wanting to go chase after that.
Absolutely, man. And with that being said, what's some of the things that, off the field that you guys look to do as a team? Because a lot of this, I know that especially with the football team, there's a lot of, opportunities to really get to know each other, to get to bond. Take us through some of that and how you guys are really able to gel, because it seems like the team really does like being around each other. These guys love playing together.
Yeah, so we've tried and we kind of struggled. Just different things have came up where in the past we've tried to do some team bonding stuff, whether it be, hey, we all have them for a cookout, or we go out and do something together, whether it's bowling, laser tag, whatever it may be, to get this going so the boys connect more. I've told them from the get-go, and before on Thursdays for pregame prep, we always do at the end of it, I always say about 30 minutes, and I break it down by class. I break it by, leaders. Then we get, the next group of guys, and we share their stories.
Oh.
So what we do is I like to let them talk about what football's meant to them, and what's their why. And I believe that everybody needs to have a why, and that's what I stress to my boys, that having a why is meaning this is why you wake up every day. This is why you work your tail off at practice, because my practices aren't easy.
Right.
My coaching staff doesn't make it easy for them.
Right.
The boys are running 100-yard sprints, and we're wondering, they're like, oh my God, why? Why do we got to do this? But then they dug deep. They figured out, hey, this is my why. This is why I'm here. This is why I wake up and bust my tail in the classroom, then spend an extra 3 hours, preparing for a football game, because of, I love this, or they do it for their family. And then that's where the passion comes into play.
Yeah, man. Well, it's huge.
Yeah.
And not to cut you off there, but that's what I think is so cool with the way the fall programs are going for Alton High as a whole. Yeah. It seems like a lot of coaches are instilling that method, because it seems like a couple of years ago, not throwing shade, but it was, let's focus on the statistics a little bit more. Let's focus on the result, and not focus on the actual character development of the student. And I think that's so important. With that being said, I have to take a quick break because I got to pay some bills. So why don't we do this? We'll take a quick break. Cody Markle's in studio with me. It's 9:25 on this September 22nd Friday. We'll take a quick break. We'll preview the game tonight. We'll talk a little bit more, and we'll see what other trouble we can cause on a Friday morning.
Sounds great.
We'll come right back after this.
Here at Modified Auto Sound, we are an automotive customizing shop that specializes in car audio, window tinting, and other truck and Jeep accessories. So as an interested customer, we always recommend that you just stop in the shop. Check us out at 241 Eastgate Plaza, right off of Route 3 in East Alton, Illinois. At Modified Auto Sound, there's no such thing as strangers, just friends we haven't met.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you. For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Mungan Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Mungan Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Mungan Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Lennox system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank. The local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Sorry, I was in the middle of a conversation. 9:27, welcome back. 9:28, but who's counting on a Friday morning? Cody, Markle in studio. You guys are heading to Belleville tonight, right?
Yes, sir. Playing Belleville East.
Look at that. See, funny story here is I didn't take notes today, but I did remember looking at that schedule yesterday. So,
there you go.
What do you guys look to do? I'm sure you take it, game by game. You're looking at, strengths, weaknesses, how the team's looking size-wise. What are you guys looking at tonight?
So obviously, like you said, I take it week to week with these boys. I mean, obviously the ultimate goal is to win every ball game and go into the playoffs, make a state title push.
Yeah.
And, but we got to take it week by week to be able to get better and grow and focus on things we need to focus on. And that's how you get to that point, is building that state qualifying team. Is, you take it week by week. We're not worried about next week's opponent. Right. We're taking the present and we're running with it, doing the very best we can and going to compete. Belleville East, I mean, they're a great football team, very disciplined. They run the ball well. They got a great passing attack. So they're very balanced on offense. And their defense, they got some guys that fly around and like to tackle. So, we really stressed that this week of, we got to be fundamentally sound on offense. We got to take what they give us and be able to control the ball and be able to control the clock, because I believe we got a lot of great athletes on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, we got a young quarterback, but you wouldn't think the young man's a sophomore.
Right.
Yeah, no, he's a very poised young man, and he goes out and carries himself well. He works his tail off. But, he gets the ball out to his playmakers, and that's something we stress is we got to get the ball in the hands of our playmakers and let them go to work.
Yeah.
So that's what we were talking about all week on offense. Then on defense, we were just, hey, you guys are the same thing. You guys are some freak athletes that fly around, make plays. I see it every day in practice, so I know this is what you're capable of. So I go, let's do this.
Yeah.
I go, and Coach Jeff White does an amazing job, just as Wade Dobson does on the offensive side. But Jeff White does an amazing job of liking to scheme things up and disguise different coverages and blitzes. And I mean, the man does an amazing job. I mean, you'd think he'd be running something, and then, at the snap, they're rolling into something else. So he's got his boys ready to go fly around and ready to make some plays tonight, and I'm really excited for it.
Man, that's awesome. And then what we'll do is let's circle back real quick, man, because you've had the chance to play with a lot of these guys, and that are some of them moving on and coaching, some of them kind of doing their own thing. But take us through just playing for Alton, playing underneath the lights yourself, and then you're taking your career on and then bringing it back on to Alton to coach and lead another generation.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's all. Whenever I was younger, and we'd all go to the games on Friday nights when we were younger. I was like, man, I'd really love to do that. This is cool. Like these guys are it. This is the show right here. And I'm like, all right, I want to be a part of this. And and Jeff Alderman gave me my shot my sophomore year. I was a sophomore. It was only my third year playing at that time.
Really?
Yeah, only third year playing football at that point in time.
Wow.
Yeah, third or fourth. But yeah,
I thought you were a lifelonger. I didn't realize that.
No, man. I didn't start playing until middle school, and he gave me a shot, and I wanted to make the best of it. Became a starter for the offensive line, and obviously that's where I've stuck my whole career playing. But it's been something that Alton has such a great community when it comes to being supportive of the programs and coming out and support, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, all of the sports. They come out and show their support and let that Redbird pride show, and I love it. And I can't be more thankful for what they do on a Friday night, becoming that 12th man.
Yeah.
For other teams, because not very many programs in our conference or in this area have an actual stadium like we do. So when teams come to Alton and they hear that 12th man out there, it's a pain in the butt, really. It really is.
You're right.
Because if they want to make it loud for the other team's offense or defense, and I'm like, well, let's make sure our guys hear the play call, and then we can be as loud as we want. After that, I'm good. But
I will never forget Eric Dickerson. It was during a homecoming game or something. It was when I was kicking, and the Redbird nest was so loud we couldn't actually hear the plays that he was trying to do. And he looked at me and goes, "Can you tell them to wait until we're on offense, please?" It was so great. But it's things like that in the Alton Athletic Association.
Yeah.
And people don't realize, and I think not take for granted, but maybe just don't realize how important that is to see the banners around town and see that support. I'm sure the boys love it.
Yeah, so actually I went to my first Alton Athletic Association as head coach, I believe it was last week. And, and I missed part of it because they started at 6 and I got done at like 6:30. So I missed majority of the meeting. But I get in there and just what they're trying to do, moving the Alton programs in the right direction. It's something that's great to see because we have people set in place and a great supporting cast all over that want to see all of our young athletes and students succeed. And that's something that's great to see, especially coming from the school district.
Right.
It is something that's great to see, that the love and support that these people have for the next generation is just truly remarkable.
It really is, man. And then on top of that, before I let you go, because I know that you're teaching yourself too, is there a way to watch the game on Huddle tonight?
I believe that they do stream on Huddle.
Okay.
But I also do know that they do YouTube.
Oh,
they do
cool.
a YouTube
yeah,
stream.
You're right with Belleville. That's right. They do a good job, actually.
Yeah,
now
they
that you
do.
bring that up. They were playing soccer against Alton the other day, and I was watching Dad's team, and man, that kid brings the heat.
Yeah.
Kind of thought, hopefully I don't need to worry about my job next year, but that's okay. Man, before I let you go, what's your message to the community, that's coming out to watch the team the next couple weeks they haven't yet? What's your takeaways for the season, that you're already underway and the rest of it that's remaining?
Just the message I got is that this Alton program is going in the right direction. I got a great group of young men, and I got a great staff, with me, and we strive every day to continue to get better and better. And I believe we're taking a big step forward this season, and I only see us getting better. So, if you want to come out and see Alton compete, put on a show, and actually enjoy the sport that we all grew up loving and that these young men love, this is what you want to come out to see, because these boys love what they do. They take pride in it, and it's truly a blessing, and it's exciting to see because it's exactly what I had playing. So it's exciting to see the next generation have that same feeling and pride that you did your whole life. So
without a doubt, I couldn't have said it better myself. How about that live endorsement? Cody Markle, man, head football coach for Alton High. Good luck tonight. Good luck the rest of the season. If you want to come back on, tell us about a little bit more going on, you're more than welcome to anytime.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. Thanks.
Awesome, man. No problem. 9:35, we'll take a quick one. More of our Friday morning show comes back to you next in downtown Alton.